So about a year and a half ago, I was at one of my kids' soccer games with my parents. They were there spectating with me. And my dad asked the question, "How's your business going?" Now, my parents are practicing Christians. They're very deep Christians. And they accept my mediumship. They try to accept my mediumship as best as they can. I think that sometimes they grapple with that accepting, or they try their best to accept it, I should say, because I'm their daughter and they love me. However, my dad is also a businessman and very into business. So when he asks the question, "How is your business going?" I do think he tries to segment the thinking of, my daughter has a business. I just prefer not to focus too hard on what the business is, if that makes sense. And when he asked me that day at the soccer game, I answered the question with, "Well, it's going really well. I'm expanding my offerings, and I'm now offering animal readings." And he looked at me like I had three heads. And he said, "What do you mean you're offering animal readings?" He literally looked at me as if I had multiple heads coming out of my body. He did not only did he not understand, he looked at me like he thought I was crazy. And mind you, maybe he thought I was crazy when I first came out as a psychic medium many years before, and had worked very hard to come to terms with the fact that his daughter, who had, gone through college and gotten a master's degree and had a successful career, and she had walked away from it and was now making a living talking to dead people, and he had worked to come to terms with that. He'd worked really hard on that, and now she's telling him that she talks to animals. He just couldn't wrap his mind around it. And his next statement was, "It doesn't say anywhere in the Bible anything about animals. This doesn't make sense." And he said something such as, "This is just too much. This is just too much." And he's since come more to terms with it, just like he has with mediumship. But I think that this is a worthy story to open this video with, because a lot of people have heard of psychic mediumship. They have heard of speaking with loved ones who have crossed over and are now on the other side. And some people have heard of working with pets and animals who have crossed over on the other side. But very few people have heard of animal communication. And additionally, less people have thought of speaking and working with animals who have crossed over than people who have heard of or conceptualized working with loved ones, human loved ones who have crossed over. And this video is just going to discuss the similarities between all of the above, between all of what I've just mentioned, and why they are so similar, and how one person can engage in all of them, and why, if one is possible, if there is potential for speaking with the loved ones in human form who are on the other side, why that indeed means that all of the other potentialities actually do exist. When a psychic medium is working with a human loved one who has crossed over to the other side, what they are doing is their soul energy is blending with the soul energy of the loved one who has crossed over. So when our physical body dies, when our physical body passes away, our soul does not die. Our soul is pure energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. Energy is endless. So the physical body perishes, right? So if you think about the physical body as being lower vibrating and the soul as being higher vibrating, the physical body dies, the lower vibrating piece dies, and the soul, the higher vibrating piece, lives on, because it is pure energy. It cannot be killed. It cannot be destroyed. So that soul continues on. So if you agree with the belief system that we all have a soul, that means that you and I, who are currently in a human body that has not yet perished, like those of our loved ones, that means that we have a soul inside of us, and everybody else walking around also has a soul inside of them. So when a medium is engaging in communication with people who have crossed over, it is our high vibrating soul inside of our body communicating with their high vibrating soul that is no longer inside of a body. The difference between them and us is that we are somewhat weighed down vibrationally because of our lower vibrating physicality, our lower vibrating human body, meaning our skin, our bones, everything about us that's physical, which they no longer have. So we somewhat have to raise ourselves up, and they somewhat have to lower themselves down to meld together. That is how mediumship functions. It is a blending of soul energies. So psychic mediumship is literally soul-to-soul communication. And that is how it occurs when we are working with human loved ones who have crossed over. The only difference when working with animals is if you are of the belief system that animals have a soul. That's the only difference. If you are of the belief system that animals have a soul, they are in different bodies. That is it. That is the only difference. They are in a different type of body than we are. So when their physical body dies, their soul leaves that physical body, and they can engage in the exact same type of communication that a psychic medium could engage in with a soul that had been in a human body. So psychic mediumship works the exact same way. And if you are to be of the belief system that psychic mediumship is possible with a human spirit loved one who is now on the other side, then you would also be of the belief system that psychic mediumship is possible with an animal who has physically died. Unless you do not believe that animals have souls. That would be the only difference. Because souls cannot be eliminated. Souls are literally pure energy, and physics tells us that they cannot be destroyed. So the only way that you would not believe, or you would not be of the belief system that psychic mediumship cannot also occur with pets and animals is if you do not believe that they have souls. The same goes with animal communication. Animal communication is when a psychic medium, intuitive, works with a living animal to communicate soul to soul with that living animal. So this is the exact same premise, soul to soul communication, as would be occurring when a psychic or intuitive reads you, the living client, the living person. So the only difference here is you're not dead. The same premise here is that you need to have a soul, though. So as long as you believe that all humans have souls and you believe that all animals have souls, if you believe that you can be psychically or intuitively read by somebody like me, and you also believe that animals have souls, then you would, in turn, need to believe in animal communication because it functions the exact same way. So if I can psychically read you or intuitively read you, that occurs by my soul blending with your soul. Some people will call it higher self. Some people might say they connect to your spirit guides. My belief system is that most people are actually connecting to your higher self, your soul, and they're putting the face of a spirit guide on it. That's another story for another day. My intuitive readings, I connect to your higher self, your soul. I connect to you psychically, you intuitively. So if you believe that animals have souls, animal communication can absolutely take place. Okay, so as long as animals and humans have souls, all of the above can occur. Now, is the functionality the same? Absolutely. It's all about how the energy is transmuted by the soul, whether they are solely in spirit or in a living body. It's all about how that energy is transmuted and then how the energy is translated by the medium's human faculties. And by this I mean clairvoyantly, which is sight, clairaudiently, which is hearing, clairsentiently, which is feeling, claircognitively, which is knowing, and then there's clairgustance and clairalience, which is tasting and smelling. But this means that animal souls can absolutely talk to us. We can absolutely hear animals, even though when they're in physical bodies, they can't talk with their lips. So they work with us as souls the exact same way that human souls work with us. It does not matter whether a soul is or was in an animal body versus a human body. They use sight, they use words or hearing, they use feelings, they use knowings. They use all of those same psychic senses, those mediumistic senses as human spirits do. There is literally no difference if I am working with grandma or if I am working with your cat. They work the exact same way. And I feel like, and this is a thought process or a belief system, but I really feel like souls are all equal. Souls are all the same, regardless of what type of body we are in, what type of body we were in. So since this is soul to soul communication, it truly does not matter if a soul was in a horse, or a soul was in a little baby, an infant human, or a soul was in a 95-year-old man. On the other side or inside of the body, if it's, living communication, we are all the same, literally all the same. And this is why communication works all the same, right? There is no difference. It's all soul energy. We are all equal. And we can carry this across to our belief system of life is life is life. Like we should all be, thinking of one another equally. And to the same end, if we're thinking further about this, infants who cannot speak yet, when they come forward, they communicate just the same as well, even though they cannot speak yet. Or you would think of an infant not able to have really complex thought processes, but they communicate as though they do. That is because the soul in that infant is just as advanced and profound as the soul in the 95-year-old man. And that is because we are all the same. We all have the same soul energy, communicative, advanced capabilities. I'm going to close with a really interesting story to just sum this all up. And that is, my dog is a senior. He is quite old. Right now he's 17 and a half. And when my cat passed away, he passed away very unexpectedly. And when my cat passed away, he was younger for a cat. He was about 13 or so. And we had not known that he was going to pass away. About a month before my cat passed, I woke up randomly in the middle of the night, and my dog sleeps with me. I rolled over, and for some reason, I kind of half sat up in the middle of, this was in the middle of the night, and I looked at my dog, and people are going to think I'm crazy here, perhaps, but the exact same way that I have objectively seen spirit people with my naked eye, which it's rare, but it can happen. I have a video that shows visual examples of what it literally looks like. You can check that out here if you're interested. But I saw my dog's physical body laying on the bed, and I saw his spirit body outside of him, right next to him. Clear as could be. And because when I see spirit people, spirit animals objectively, you can see it in the darkness. And he was next to his own body. And I reached out with my hand to his physical body, and I felt that he was breathing, that he was alive. And I thought to myself that it was a sign from him, a sign from his soul that he didn't have long here, that he was telling me he was preparing to leave soon. As time went on, he was trying to prepare me for the loss of Sniper, our cat, which happened, I think it was about 3 weeks later, unexpectedly. That is literally what he was preparing for. It was not about himself, it was about his brother that he was preparing me for. And about a week after Sniper passed, the exact same thing happened, but it was Sniper from Spirit. And it wasn't on the bed, it was in the bedroom doorway. I was just preparing to fall asleep, and I looked over and Sniper was sitting in the bedroom doorway from Spirit. I saw him objectively with my eyes. It gives me the full body chills just thinking about it, because it was amazing to have that visit from him. Again, check out the video for examples. I think I actually use him as an example in the video. And he was sitting in the bedroom doorway looking at me, and he held his image there for quite some time. It was beautiful. So animals are very much on the other side. Animal souls are very real. I know that for a fact. And they can very much communicate both in living bodies and from the spirit realm. They very much live on as souls just like we do. Until next time, much love. Bye.